Konnichiwa! It is I, Samurai Dave Martello, and we are here tonight to talk about the big monster. Kaiju, Hai, Tamagotchi, Honda, Toyota, Suzuki.
Any more?
You are a stinky Chinese people with a little pee-pee.
Very nice.
You like my Japanese voice?
Oh yeah. I ask you to do samurai for me all the time.
Yeah, samurai.
Usually you refuse to do it.
Yeah, I do. I don't know why. It's such a weird impression.
It's like my favorite one that you do. Though.
Really?
Yeah.
You like that better than how many? I do a decent amount of impressions.
You got Bernie. You got
Bernie.
You got Jamal.
I did used to do Bernie Sanders, didn't I?
Yeah.
Wait, I don't even remember how it goes. Bernie Sanders.
You got Macho Man.
Oh yeah, the Macho Man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what? I lied. The samurai is not my favorite. My favorite is Stephen Hawking. And now that we have the camera on, the people can fully appreciate it.
I don't want to do Stephen Hawking.
Oh, come on.
I don't want to.
Come on, you're this far into it.
I don't want to do Stephen Hawking. I don't want to do. I haven't done that one in a long time, and it's real weird.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
No, you gotta commit to it.
Okay, so I do this. I do Stephen Hawking. I hold on. The landscaper keeps raping me.
Yeah, that's the one.
That wasn't a very good one. That wasn't a very good version. It's something like that. I can do it better than that, but that's Stephen Hawking. So anyway, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Big Dave here with another episode of the BIZARCAST, which is supposed to be live every single Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, but we slip up a lot and we go out and we go out for dinner at fancy Italian restaurants and end up being an hour and a half late. So this is, we're kind of I guess we're a fly-by-night operation here at the BIZARCAST. But anyway, if you guys love the BIZARCAST, you like the BIZARCAST, make sure to go buy books, man. We got so many great projects we're working on. We got so many aspirations, and the best way to support us is to buy books, man. We got our people at time. Yeah, you open the super chats up. So the super chats are down at the bottom. You can send us a super chat at powerchat.live/Dave Martell. This might be the last week we're on YouTube. YouTube throttles us real bad, so we might be just next week. I'm 90% sure we're just gonna run Odyssey. I'm done with this YouTube crap. YouTube can get lost. We're going on Odyssey. But guys, buy books. Follow us on Twitter and Telegram at the BIZARCAST, and also sub to our Substack, which is really great. You get free ebooks every single month over at theobelisk.substack.com. We have something really awesome coming your guys' way very, very soon. We're going to talk about this one tonight. We're going to be talking about Masters of Horror Volume 1, which is a book that we did not on purpose. This was something that we kind of slid into our catalog on the sly. So we didn't do a whole lot of advertising about this. It's something that we used to pad out our thing. And plus I don't want to say why we did it, but we did. Okay. So we brought the people what they wanted, some cool reprints, and Masters of Horror has been like one of our best sellers from our website. I can't even keep these in stock. I got I don't even know. I think I got 3 copies left. I had 2 weeks ago, I don't even know how many. I had 50 of these things, and they just went out in 2 weeks. 50 copies just sold, just so I got 4 left if you guys want to check it out. And every time if you're in the US of A and you buy a book from us, you get a cool bookmark. You're not gonna be able to see it because it's green and it's blending in with the green screen, but you get a cool bookmark with every copy. If you buy 3 or more books, which actually I can't offer this right now, but normally if you buy 3 or more books from us, we send with you a really cool vintage Ace paperback from my collection. And you guys, this Yuletide season have cleared me out. I have 2 or 3. I have a couple books left, and they're books from incomplete series.
We should substitute that vintage paperback with something else.
Like what?
I don't know, packaged meat or something.
Yeah, I mean, that'll stay good by the time it gets there. That's a good idea.
That's what preservatives are for.
Yeah. It's also cold out, so it might get there good.
Yeah. How many of you little boys out there want to like block a spam
Oh.
in your box of books?
That would be like spam would be the weirdest one because it's already in a can, and it's like spam is like notoriously good for its shelf life. Why would we remove it from the can?
Are you saying that the ideal use of spam is to just shelve it for eternity in the can?
No, you're supposed to eat it eventually.
So
And, like,
eventually you're supposed to remove it from the can.
yeah. So you're saying that we help them out?
Are
we
you
remove the middleman.
suggesting that I was proposing that we remove the brick of spam from the can and then just put it in a box with the books?
Yeah.
I like that idea better.
Wait, that's not what you were talking about.
No.
Okay.
That's a better idea.
Shane is so weird. I automatically jumped to the assumption that we were going to do the weirdest option.
These fucking sunglasses are really fucking me up because I can't tell where you're looking.
Like, I feel like Stevie Wonder.
Right on.
Yeah.
Feeling a little ethnic tonight.
I feel a little ethnic. I like these. These are my favorite sunglasses. I love these. These are dope. What do you think? You don't like them? They're kind of retro.
No, I like them.
I love 'em.
Yeah, I dig them.
Other sunglasses look weird on my face.
That's because you got a weird face.
I got a weird face. It's not even that like I really have a weird face. It's just like I have such a face type that I got to be particular.
It's not that you have a weird face. You just have a giant head.
I have a humongous
things don't really
head.
fit appropriately.
I do have a humongous head. It's huge. Like I'm a pretty big guy, right? I'm not a giant, but I mean, you guys call me a giant all the time, but I'm not really a giant.
Huge head, average pee-pee.
Average is pushing it. Give me a little too much credit there.
Small beep beep gang.
So for folks that have never met me, I'm like 6'1.5". I'm almost 6'2", right? I'm 260 pounds. I'm a pretty big guy, right? I'm usually the biggest guy in the room, but I'm not a giant, right? Now my head, you put me next to a guy that's 6'7", and my head's gonna be bigger than his. I have a gigantic head. And what's worse, what's even worse is like I have a moon face. So I got this little tiny, everyone's like, oh, I've never seen you without a beard. That's because I've been rocking a beard since I was 12 years old. First of all, I had a really awkward puberty. So I was like 12 years old. I'm like 5'6". I had size 12 shoes, a deep ass voice, and like full like mutton chops. It was terrible. It was like the worst. Be like, oh, why did you play sports? Oh, because my whole body was retarded. It literally grew at like it was like feet.
I just like pictured you with like a child's torso, but like full-grown gangly adult arms and legs. Giant head.
I had a weird childhood. I had a weird go at that. Like I remember like playing sports in gym class in middle school, like when everybody's just growing at normal rates. Like, oh, I'm a tall 13-year-old. I'm a proportional 13-year-old, and I'm walking in fucking size 12 shoes, clown shoes, full mutton chops, like I'm goddamn in a rockabilly band, and I got this deep ass voice. It was weird.
I don't think I hit puberty until I was like 23.
I'm still working on it.
I'm still coming around.
Yeah. Pat Bateman says he can't find any hats. That's why I don't wear hats, bro. Like, if you ever see me out in the wild, the only hats that I wear are like trilbies. I wear like because I think they're dope. I like trilbies, but that's the only kind of hat that'll come in my size. Like you gotta. And I don't wear flat brim. Like I think that's just corny. I can't wear that shit. But like regular like baseball caps or whatever. And also I got really curly bushy hair. So on top of my head, I got my bushy thing, but my face is like weird. So I can't wear just like whatever. I'm not like an aviator Chad, right? I gotta be very careful with what kind. Like for example, this is a like 3XL Santa hat, and it's like tight on my noggin. It's tight on my nugget. Like it is.
My noggin.
It's tight on my nuggins.
You got big head to contain all that brain meat.
Yeah, all that brain meat. It's also like thick as like. So anyway, back to my stupid face. So my face is real stupid. It's it's got like it's moon shaped, and on top of big head, like there's very little difference between like the circumference and the girth of my skull and my neck. So it looks like there's just like a big fat tree trunk neck with a face on it, and like a little tiny butt chin that pops out in the front.
Also, your lips smell really funny.
How would you know that? You smelling my lips when I'm sleeping?
And sometimes while you're awake, you know. You smell a little bit like Gouda.
Like Gouda.
Yeah.
No, I don't eat a lot of Gouda.
I know, that's why it's weird.
Shane does not smell my lips, by the way. He's just saying something weird.
He's just trying to save face.
So yeah, this is I like these sunglasses because they're big enough. You put these sunglasses on a normal like human-sized human, and they look gigantic. My wife puts them on and she looks like, you know.
Let me see this fuckers real quick.
Yeah, check them out. They're dope sunglasses.
Yeah, look, these cover like the majority of my upper face.
Yeah, it's a third of your skull. A third of your skull that they cover. Yeah. You put these on me, they're just like regular because I got such a gigantic noggin. It's just I don't know what to do about it. It's what I got. It's what I got. I could do some gnarly headbutts though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
One time I got into a scuffle with a young man when I was a young man at now to be fair, he was a couple times size smaller than me. He was a college kid and I'm in there, and he kept he's just some like yuppie college kid, right? Drunk as fuck, not from the area. He kept like grabbing my hair. I told him first of all, I don't like people touching my hair. And back then I had hair going down to my waist. I had like really long curly hair. And I told him, I was like, dude, don't touch my hair, please. I was like, you guys have a good time. Just stay out of my fucking zone. He does it again. I was like, look, dude, now you got to just stay the fuck away from me. If you get close to me, it's going to be trouble. So he comes up from behind me again. He's just so drunk. And he grabs my hair and yanks it and like jerks my head back. And I just turn around. I grabbed him by his polo shirt and I just drove my head into his face. And he just like
crumpled.
He just like went like completely limp. I don't know if have you ever been like in a fight with somebody and you like flatline them?
Yeah, full connectivity.
Yeah, they just like to see like when people just like go limp.
They go from being a solid to a liquid.
It's actually shocking. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, oh fuck, I just committed a murder.
Yeah, that's like I was like, because I'm drunk as shit too. So I'm holding this kid like this. I'm like holding him up. You know what I mean? He's just like completely
just fished out.
He's just like limp. And I just like, I'm like, oh my God, I just drop him and he like lands fucked up and smashes his head on the floor. And like, oh, yo, what the fuck? They start flipping out. The whole bar gets nuts. I get like drug out. I was like, dude.
Listen, there's like a simple unspoken rule among men. Don't touch another dude's hair.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
And,
especially if you don't know him.
And also, I'm not you know me. I'm not a violent guy. I'm a chill guy. And I'm also like, I'm a big, boisterous, loud guy, but I'm also like a pretty chill, like even keeled.
Right.
Unless I start getting fired up, my temper flares. You could come up and just say whatever. All right, dude. You know what I mean? Especially now that I'm older, I just like, I just don't got time for. There's been times people like tough guys are like, fucking got a big dick with me in public. Whatever, dude. Just go fuck off.
It's just one of those things that like simmers with time.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't got it. Especially like, here's the thing. It's like, I didn't really have like a big career of like fist fighting in the bar. And I'm not like some big tough guy or nothing, but I've been in some scuffles and I know how fights turn out.
Yeah.
If you are outnumbered, it doesn't matter how big and how tough and strong you are.
It's a losing battle.
And if they're fired up and if they're, ethnic, you do not want to like, if you get like folded or something, somebody sucker punches you, knocks you out. They'll do whatever they want to you.
Yeah. Yeah. In situations like that, the best you can do is, the best you can do.
Yeah. So now I know what to do. And that is if there's more than one dude and he wants to get bad with me, I just pull out my fucking
PP.
Is this what you wanted? What do you want to be?
And now for our main event.
Yeah. So anyway, what we're gonna talk? We're talking about kaiju movies. Kaiju. So I just learned this word last night.
What? Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I never heard of this before. Some guy in the chat told me about it last night. And I was like, oh yeah, I do like those movies. I don't know ching chong words, bud.
I don't either, but I think kaiju's one of those, you know what? I think kaiju was sort of popularized by Pacific Rim, like made mainstream.
I don't know. I used to love like the really old Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
Like the ones from the 50s and the 60s.
Oh, Gojira.
Oh, Gojira. Yeah, Gojira. I used to love those.
Yeah, those are dope.
Yeah. So I
and
also
honestly, kaiju, it just fucking means monster, I'm pretty sure, right? So
is that it?
just to say monster, it's not like we're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not calling them kaiju.
Yeah. Yeah. So when it comes to these big monster movies, I've always been a fan, right? I've loved the old Godzilla movies. I'm a big fan of King Kong. I love I used to watch the old movies where they had the claymation monsters. Like,
Yeah.
You know, what's Clash of the Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Jason, is Jason and the Argonauts? That's the one that's got the big gigantic scorpion and shit. I've always just been a fan of big monsters, and I've always had a thing for King Kong. I love King Kong. You know, I talked about it last night. I'm a fan. I'm an ape guy.
Yeah, he's pretty base.
King Kong is really big. I'm really a big fan of apes. I think apes are very cool creatures. They're like my favorite animal.
Which is kind of ironic.
Why?
I'm not going to talk about it on here.
Okay.
It's a little too spicy for YouTube.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I am a fan of primates, more specifically the lowlands gorilla. They're particularly intelligent. They're very powerful creatures, but they're also like really like they're very they're K selective with their young in a way that humans are. Like they pair bond a lot of times. They they're very intimate, nurturing parents, and they're very docile. They're not really violent. They don't really.
Apes and gorillas are actually pretty chill.
They're real chill
for the most part.
And they're like,
they pop off every once in a while.
They pop off, but they don't pop off.
They need a reason to pop off.
Yeah, and they're not doing it on purpose. Like they're just 500 pounds of simian muscle. And what do you're a piece of shit human being. What are you gonna do against that? They're not really trying to kill you. They're just trying to get you to fuck off.
Yeah.
Or they just got excited.
Yeah, they just don't know how strong they are.
I saw this dude. He Africans. They're like going in and like leading this scientist group or whatever, and this gorilla just like gets it worked up, like they spook it, and it runs and it grabs this dude and drags him and just goes like this and flails him through the air like a rag doll, and he hit this tree. Now it didn't show him, it just described it
yeah,
it was like it just did like a reenactment or whatever. It flailed the guy through the air like a rag doll, and he smashed into the tree.
Killed him, didn't it?
So hard it broke his spine.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Now, obviously, this was a skinny little African guy. This guy was probably 120 pounds soaking wet. But still, the fact that an animal could just sort of by accident, just
huck a guy.
One hand.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, Kong is super cool. Godzilla's cool. I've always kind of been more of a Godzilla fan than Kong, though.
Why is that?
I don't know. He's just always been cooler to me. He's just like this giant fucking nuclear reptile with a breath weapon that just terrorizes. It's just cool. I think you can empathize a lot more with Kong though than you can Godzilla. Godzilla is like one of those creatures that you like if you just want to watch something like fuck a city up.
Yeah.
Kong's got backstory.
He does have backstory. Do you know some of the deep lore of King Kong?
Probably not. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot.
So the deep lore of King Kong, which is it's actually pretty based, is that, everybody knows King Kong comes from Skull Island, right? King Kong comes from Skull Island, and King Kong is actually what it is there is a portal or an entrance to Inner Earth, to Agartha, to Inner Earth world,
right,
from Skull Island, and there is a race of Kongs that live in the center of the earth in this like gigantic.
So King
place.
Kong's just like one of many Kong.
Yeah.
That's like way scarier.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's some of the lore that's there. Like now, this is expanded lore. Obviously, the first King Kong movie. I'm not sure. I've never read the original King Kong book. I'll look it up real quick what the King Kong book is.
So why did, like, according to the lore, why did Kong decide to leave and surface?
I don't know. I don't know why.
He sought power.
Yeah.
He left the other Kongs to be the only Kong in a world of smaller creatures.
Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Who wrote it? I don't know. I guess it came out in 1932. Came out in pulp era, obviously. Yeah. So apparently, yeah, it was a book. It was a pulp story, and it became a novelized radio picture by Delos Lovelace. How do you say that? Lovelace. I don't know. But yeah, so this is an old story that was written that came out, big surprise during the pulp era. So King Kong I'm a big fan of King Kong. Not only you mentioned that there's something more relatable about King Kong.
Yeah.
Godzilla is just kind of, he like rises from the sea. He starts wrecking he's just like a wrecking machine.
Yeah.
Right. King Kong, you sort of feel bad for him. You understand why he's doing what he's doing. Right. Probably because he's like, excuse me, he's like ape, right? He's simian. So he's like kind of like sort of human like. He's got like arms and opposable thumbs and shit, right? So you kind of like look at him, you're like, oh, this is, the missing link kind of guy. So he's a little bit more personable for that. But also, he's like King Kong acts out because man has performed Promethean acts, right? Man has gone beyond what he's supposed to be doing. Man fucked around with Kong and found out.
Got Konged.
They got Kong. Because Kong, you're not supposed to be bringing Kong to the main land for everybody to gawk at him, right?
Yeah.
He's not, he's a gigantic creature, a force of nature. You're not supposed to fuck around Kong like that. You're supposed to leave him be. But man couldn't leave him be because man is Promethean.
And there's always that one guy that's like, nah, we're going to fucking take him out.
Yeah. And there's always that one guy that wants to take him. We got to kill him. Blah, 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 blah. He's a guy's a fucking menace. Blah, blah, blah. It's always, this guy, like a guy that's got a heart on for him.
And he makes things 10 times worse.
And Kong is always like, he's always like captivated by the beauty of some woman, right?
You know what, though? I can appreciate both, like, the large creature that I can empathize with and the creature that is just like a raging massive destruction, because like sometimes I just want to watch something wreak havoc.
Yeah, I mean they're both cool. They're both
for
cool.
Sure.
But King Kong has an element to it that's the Godzilla really doesn't.
Yeah, there's a depth to Kong.
And it's like you don't really start vibing with Godzilla until Godzilla starts fighting other monsters at the behest, or what you perceive to be at the behest of humanity, right? Like when he starts fighting Rodan and Mothra. Wait, isn't Mothra a good guy? I thought Mothra was a good guy. I can't remember. But there's like when Godzilla starts fighting all the other monsters, you're like, okay, fuck, Godzilla's he's like our boy. Either it kind of isn't. And this is also really apparent in like Destroy All Monsters, and also was it King of All Monsters, that movie that came out like a few years ago, which actually I thought was great. A lot of people dunked on it because the acting was terrible, but dude, who cares? Dude, it was like a 2-hour movie, and literally like the acting, just who cares? The humans don't even matter. 2/3 of the movie is just all of the monsters unleashing upon the world and fighting each other.
That's what you're there for.
That's what you're there for, right? This is what I don't like about modern, especially postmodern leaning critics, is they're always looking for this. Where's the character development and the inner struggle and blah 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 blah. I need character development, dude. Fuck character development.
You're at the fucking wrong movie.
You're at the wrong movie. You are a piece of shit.
Yeah. You deserve to be flayed alive, flensed.
Yeah, we're gonna murder you.
We're gonna skin you and rape you.
We're gonna
hollow out your fucking chest cavity and stuff your living children in there.
We're gonna make human turducken.
Turfucking.
We're gonna make turfucking. So it's like I don't know. So it's like the actors, the characters, the human characters in these movies, they just don't matter. They're just there.
They're fucking filler.
They're filler.
Yeah.
They're filler, right? And also these people, they don't have any sort of concept of, they're so like jaded by the hero's journey, right? The Joseph Campbell hero's journey.
Yeah.
They think everything, which I don't like the hero's journey. I think a couple times it's dope. Like it,
I think it can be, but I also think it's like put on a pedestal.
Yeah, dude. If the moment you sniff the hero's journey, you know what exactly the ending's gonna be.
Exactly,
and that sucks.
There's no mystery. There's no twists or turns.
That sucks.
It's just what it is.
Like, why would you like announce your formula? You're like, here's the formula. We're gonna announce it. We gotta follow it because this is the hero's. Man, fuck your hero's journey. How about my hero does like none of the journey and does whatever he wants. Yeah. Flat arc. I like flat arc. Are you familiar with that term, flat arc?
I don't believe so.
So
is it just like a story where your main character doesn't progress the story at all? He just like sits on the couch and eats potato chips?
No.
I'd watch that.
I would not.
That's the pinnacle of storytelling, where there is no actual story.
There's zero story.
There's no story at all.
At all.
There's no conflict. There's no problem. You're just watching a dude live his life.
That sounds like the worst thing that could ever be happen. I don't think anybody should ever make that. I guess they do that with the reality TV. Maybe I'm wrong.
I got to get rid of hours and hours of footage then.
Shay's just like he just like walks into this like storage like shed, like head hanging down. He's like, I guess it can't be. And there's like this like stacks of film reels.
And he's dumping gasoline. One solitary tear rolls down my cheek.
It was never meant to be.
There goes my life's work.
So wait, what were we talking about? Okay, so the flat arc, right? Flat arc. What this means is effectively there is no like beginning thing. There's not really like because you know how the arc goes, right? You have your character arc. Starts out that needs to be a motivation. There's this happening, and it goes up and goes down. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. With the flat arc, it starts out your character's already awesome. Your character just like starts out awesome. He doesn't have an origin story. He has like nothing. He's just like, he's there. And then the adventure happens. He solves it, over, done. Just like a straight line.
I like that.
Me too.
That's ideal.
That's ideal. He starts out with the obstacle.
Yeah, there's no reason why along that like flat arc you can't like dose in a little bit of backstory stuff here and there.
Yeah. So Zimzilla says Godzilla when he's an antagonist is a perfect chaos serpent story. Despite being Japanese, it takes a lot from the Western story tradition. So he's talking about like Jormungandr and stuff.
Right.
Like he's like a world serpent, like the chaos serpent or something. So I guess I could see that. Like but you know, that's a motif that's as old as time. That's as old as storytelling period is that. So, excuse me. Another thing that I don't like, and speaking of the flat arc character, why kind of a lot of like normals and mouth breathers and boring vanilla squares don't like, like he's a lot of like 70s lingo there, like a bunch of jive turkeys.
Jive motherfuckers.
Bunch of jive motherfuckers. Yeah, you little jive motherfucker. What's clacker? What's crack-a-lackin', bopper?
I didn't say anything because you look like you had wheels turning.
I don't even know. What did I just say? I don't even know. What
I don't know.
what did they say in the 70s? What was I wasn't alive.
I don't know. Something about Nom, probably.
Hey, what's Nam, my brother? Yo, what's Nam with you, baby?
Hey guys, you guys excited to go to Vietnam?
Yo, y'all feeling that Nam and shit? Damn, baby. Damn,
Y'all ready to
nigga.
get nommed up?
Y'all niggas Nam right now, you feel me?
Yup.
We out here in that Nam shit, you feel me? No die, baby.
I don't know what the fuck was going on in the 70s. Was that Nixon's shit?
Yeah, that was Nixon was
We had Nixon going
Jimmy
on.
Carter.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan was the 80s.
Yeah, and then you had disco.
You had here's the thing about disco. Let me tell you.
Fuck, here we go.
I like a little bit of disco.
You're wrong.
I'm not. Because it is infinitely better than like a lot of this. Like, for example, if you go listen to some of the Bee Gees albums, like listen to the whole album, they were tremendous musicians. They're fantastic musicians.
I'm gonna have to take your word for it because I'm not gonna listen to a whole
Yeah.
Bee Gees album.
You should give it a try.
No.
Yeah, like the Staying Alive album. The Staying Alive album. Have you know the song everybody knows? The Staying Alive. Listen to the rest of the album. Trust me, it is. You'll be like, "Whoa, they wrote this." It's pretty good.
I know that you really feel in your heart of hearts that it's going to change my opinion, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my automatic thing that I say about everything. Yeah. You be like that's what I say. Like as far as like a I guess that's what's that called? There's a word for that.
Autopilot.
Yeah, this kind of like autopilot response. Yeah, this like affirmatory reaction that you have. Yeah, hell yeah. I say hell yeah a lot too.
Hell yeah.
Which I guess is probably not a good like mindless affirmative because it really implies like excitement.
Right.
Yeah. It'd be like
ever just like absent-mindedly respond to people with it while like your mind is completely elsewhere.
Oh yeah, that's like this my entire
You know what's
life.
funny about you saying hell yeah is one of those things is when you were having that conversation earlier in the Italian place with the woman that was cooking our food. You fully absent-mindedly said hell yeah when she answered about the chicken if it was cooked in house or not. And I
really that's hell yeah. See, yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
it's better than me though. I use profanity so fluidly that I'll drop a fuck bomb accidentally in like situations I shouldn't.
Hell yeah is okay though.
Yeah, hell yeah is not bad.
She hears the way I talk. She knows who I am. You know, I say hell yeah all the time. I say hell yeah to old ladies. Like yeah. Oh wow, that sounds nice. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
They're like, no, they're cool. Yeah, it's all right. See, they get they know who I am, right? This isn't like the 50s where like you can't even like say damn to grandma. You know, these are boomer ladies. These boomer ladies like you say F like more than it's their last name. You know what I'm saying? So this lady, it's not like I was like, fuck, that sounds delicious, you stupid cunt. You know? Fuck yes, cunt.
I think you should try that next time we go there.
Yeah. I think
you're gonna get a little extra seasoning.
Well, she's like, she like likes it.
She makes her panties cry.
Oh, okay. Let's get back on topic. What were we talking about here? What were we talking about?
Kaiju.
Wait. Okay. So kaiju. Yeah. The other thing that these like normals get wrong about this is they're always looking for this what is called. We're gonna get into what are you laughing at? What's funny?
Arbogast. Can you take out my dentures before kissing me? Hell yeah.
my nigga, you feel me? Damn, baby. Y'all niggas is wild and shit. Damn, no doubt, baby.
Arbogast talking from experience.
yeah, Arbo's a savage, bub. So I'm not gonna call him out for it, but yo. No, I'm just playing. So what they're looking for with these stories, they don't understand the flat arc, and they don't have an appreciation for certain conflict narratives. Right now, if you go into conflict narratives and you go look it up, there's going to be, they've broken it down. They said there's 7 conflict, there's 9, there's 12, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. But effectively, these are conflict narratives, right? The conflict, obviously, you guys know the conflict is in a story. Conflicts are man versus nature, man versus man, man versus self, and man versus machine now. And I would say there's a fifth one, which is now machine versus nature. Man is like gone from the equation. What he said, I've smooched a few women. I've made more older women bedridden than the flu. Hey,
You go get him, Tiger.
you do your thing, bud. You do it. You break them
hips.
break them off something.
Break them off a few inches.
Break them off a segment.
Break them off an increment of length.
Break them off a precise amount of units.
Break them off a specific amount of your penis.
Yo, weigh them out some meat. Yo, weigh them honeys out some meat. You from me? Yo, they call me the butcher man.
They call me the meat man.
Yo, this is the deli man. Yeah. So anyway, going back to this kind of stuff, it gets the normals, the type of people we don't like, right?
Yeah.
Don't like kaiju. Is that how you say it, right? Kaiju. Like I just said,
I don't know. Dude.
I learned this. I learned this
think
word
it's
yesterday.
kaiju.
Kaiju.
Sure.
I
think that's appropriate. I think that's how you.
That's the authentic
That's
pronunciation.
the authentic pronunciation. Yeah.
Kaiju.
Yep. I want you to say it like that from here on out.
Like, kaiju.
Yeah. I think if we have any Japanese viewers, they're really going to appreciate your attempt.
They're going to appreciate my authenticity and respect for their culture.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason that they don't understand kaiju is because it is a retelling of man versus nature, right? It's not obviously man is not in the equation. This is what they don't like. This is what moderns don't like, is they want every story to be like within the confines of man. They presuppose materialism and humanism, meaning that they believe that the totality of your being is you are a meat machine, and the entirety of consciousness is inside the meat that's within your skull, which is a completely ridiculous thing to believe. Even in the field of science, there's, it's called the hard problem of consciousness. It's something that just completely blows out materialism, and their only argument is nuh-uh. Like, that's it. You look at all this evidence that shows nuh-uh. That's all they got. Yeah. They just say no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, that's like all they say.
Strong argument, bro.
It's a bad argument. It's not an argument. They're just gay.
Yeah.
So anyway, what was I saying there? I'm such a fucking retard.
You were talking about
they don't
conflict.
They want man versus man or man versus self, right? They don't want anything other than that.
They want man on man.
They don't like man versus they do. They definitely want man versus man these
days. They're really into man on man.
Yeah, they're really into man on man and really onto
man on animal.
Yeah.
Animal.
They're really into that kind of stuff. But he just fucked me up with that. Good animal. Man.
You remember the Mentor?
The Mentor. Yeah. One half man, one half another man. The Mentor.
Hell yeah.
So going back to that, they don't like kaiju because kaiju is a retelling of man versus nature, right? What it forces is it forces you to break down your ego and to look at an antagonist that is far beyond what humanity has the capacity to deal with. Mankind is kind of just at the mercy of the kaiju, right? The mercy of the monster, at the mercy of Godzilla, at the mercy of King Kong. These beasts, and they have very mysterious origins. They come from the sea or the depths of the jungle, some far flung island. You know what I mean? They literally represent nature and the power of nature in a modernist storytelling paradigm where that storytelling doesn't exist anymore. So it's a very romantic style of story.
So let me ask you this, right? By that definition that you just gave, what would you say separates that from like cosmic horror entities?
Functionally, not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. Obviously.
Do you think that a cosmic horror entity is man against nature?
Yes.
In its basest form, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Even though, I guess, yeah. No, I'd agree with that. If you're limited to a certain number of like predetermined conflict titles, and there's nothing that says beyond nature, then yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the view of it. We're already 45 minutes, so let's move on to the next thing. Let's talk about, that's conflict narratives. And I had this. I say that the next one that you have man versus self, et cetera, man versus man. You have man versus nature. And then I say that there's man versus machine. And the next one is going to be machine versus nature, and man is going to be cut out.
I was just going to say, I think we should just cut man out of the picture altogether. Let's just start writing like stories about other stuff. Yeah. Why are we always writing stories about people?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit about people?
Who gives a fuck about people?
I hate people.
Fuck people.
I hate nature.
That's all you, bub.
That was too far. Arbo says man versus moaner.
Moaner.
So anyway, let's talk about let's do a little quick thing here.
What's our little quick thing?
Just to give you guys a quick reminder. Oh yeah, by the way, Spire is back in the store. I'll have the inventory uploaded. I think I got a small shipment, 20 or 30, 40 copies or something like that. I didn't get that many. They were like really dragging. They were supposed to be here last week, but they're here now, and you guys can pick them up. I'll have them up in the store tomorrow. But here, check this out. This is Inspire, but here. Oh yeah, it's over. Yeah, so that's our video game. Grim Earth is coming out very, very soon. We're working on
cool
it.
As fuck.
Doesn't that look good?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like that we came out with that. Shout out to Mr. Fornall. He like did, he did like all of the work, all the coding. Arbogast says, here's my next BZA pitch. A sword and sandal hero lands on an island full of skeletons with boners.
How does that work?
Was that Indiana Bones?
But a boner's made of meat and blood. What are those things that walruses have? Baculums? Is that what they're called?
It's like a pee-pee femur.
It's a dick bone, yeah.
It's a pee-pee femur.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think that would go over? That might be pretty lit.
With like audiences?
Like, no, if we had pee-pee boners. I mean pee-pee bones.
If we had, here's my pitch, right?
Give you a little bit of structure.
Here's my pitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want several bones with joints so I can flex them like a bicep.
You're like an articulating boner?
I want an articulated pee-pee.
And like opposable thumb Where
I want to be able to like pick stuff up like it's an elephant's trunk,
Like,
only with like bones.
it's like segmented like a tapeworm.
Yeah.
That'd be terrifying.
I want to be able to like scratch my leg with it if I need to. Could you imagine how convenient it would be if you didn't have to reach in your pants every time you wanted to unstick your balls from your leg? You just curled your segmented meat around it and just gave it a tug.
Give it a little lick.
Yeah, just give it a little lap.
You just lap your own ball.
just lap your own bag. Yup.
He's like a dry lap.
Just a little flick. Just a little flick of the tip.
A little dry lick.
That is opposed to a wet lick, which is an entirely different thing.
You
You don't want to give yourself a wet lick.
All right, let's. All right. So anyway,
Yes, Arbogast.
you know this. Oh God. Okay, no more boners. Let's talk.
Yeah, but listen, you could feed with it.
What are you feeding?
Listen, just picture this, right?
Oh God.
The tip of your hog
Yeah.
has the mouth of a lamprey,
Uh,
right?
is this your next story?
If it is, I'm gonna credit Arbogast.
Okay,
because
let's
I'm fucking going.
Let's talk
into it
about
now.
books. No more. We've been talking about.
We are talking about books.
We're not talking about books. We're talking about boners, and I don't want to talk about boners anymore. It's fucking.
Frest says the malignus dicticulate.
So anyway, The Masters of Horror is a book that we put out a few months ago. We kind of put it out on the slide. It's called Masters of Horror Volume 1. Volume 2 is like on the way. Volume 2 is on the way. So if you do not have this book, you are going to love this book. It is a compilation of like the best, the most well-known, right? This is a book. If you are not familiar with these authors, this is like the best book to get. This is like a beginner's book or a book you give to somebody. It's got Arthur Machen, Algernon Blackwood, Edgar Allan Poe, Clark Ashton Smith, H.P. Lovecraft, and Robert E. Howard, right? And the stories that are in here. Shane, did you read this yet?
I've read some of it. I haven't read all of it.
Excellent. It's got it says like what year the stories came out and everything like that. It's got Great God Pan from Arthur Machen. It's got The Wendigo from Algernon Blackwood. It's got The Dark Eidolon from Clark Ashton Smith. It's got Berenice from Edgar Allan Poe. It's got The Shadow over Innsmouth by H.P. Lovecraft and Pigeons from Hell from Robert E. Howard, which is a dope horror story. So you guys out there, pick up a copy of this book. It's kind of a bigger book. What is it, like 600 pages?
It's got some girth.
Oh, no, it's not 600. It's like 300 pages. My bad. I thought but the Arthur Machen book we were going to come out with was like 600 pages. So this one's only like 300 pages. Still a pretty big book. You know, cool book. I designed the cover. We got volume 2 coming out, which is going to have Ambrose Bierce. What's it? Hoffman. What's his? I can't remember. Can never remember his T.H.A. Hoffman or whatever his name is.
It's gonna have Plurch Gunt.
Yeah. To have Jarvin Flandel. Jarvin Flandel.
Jarvin Flandels.
We're just making up names, by the way. Those aren't real authors. E.T.A. Hoffman. So yeah, we're gonna have there's gonna be a lot of great stuff in there. So Masters of Horror Volume 2 is coming. Get your copy of Masters of Horror Volume 1. And this is a tremendous gift to give to somebody that is like a fan of horror and has not really done a deep dive into horror literature. This is the masters. These are the OGs. Great God Pan is like such a spooky story. Arthur Machen is tremendous. Algernon Blackwood, obviously,
Absolutely.
it's just this is just a banger. You can't go wrong with this. So go get yourself a copy. This is a great gift to give to somebody who's a horror fan. So Master Horror Volume 1, get it before Volume 2 comes out. So did we want to talk about something else?
I feel like there's something else on the agenda. I can't remember what it was. I mean, we had Kaiju. We had Masters of Horror.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Here's another thing that we want to do. We want to do call-ins.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna give this a try. I'm going to put the link in the chat, and you guys can. So here's the rules. You can't. You guys know that we keep it sort of clean around here. Okay, so no coming in screaming the N-word.
Yeah,
or
mildly spicy,
like
no
mildly
hotter,
spicy.
no hotter than habanero.
Oh, that's kind of hot. Let's say
Jalapeno.
jalapeno. That's a good one. We keep it jalapenos. Like, how many Schofields is that? 6,000 or something?
It's a few.
It's a few Schofields. What is that what they're called?
Scoville? Schofields? That's a revolver, son.
Yeah. So yeah, but put this in the chat. So you can hop in, say whatever you want. We could talk for a minute, and after a few minutes are over, I'm gonna kick you out. And then after you're gone, we're gonna keep talking about you behind your back. So I'm just kidding.
You'll still be able to listen, but you can't reply anymore.
Yeah, you'll still be able to listen. So there's the StreamYard chat. There's a StreamYard thing. So if you guys want to pop on and yak with us for a minute, I'll let you on and we can yak. You got a couple minutes. So anyway, what else? Oh yeah, 1 second. Guys, BIZARCAST 4.
That's it.
BIZARCAST 4. We are crushing it. We are crushing it. Speaking of awesome dudes, and Arbo just wrote like a glowing review over on the Obelisk for us, and he loved it. He thought it was great. I think that this is our best book so far. I believe this is our best book so far. It's got 15 stories. It's our biggest one. It's a thick guy, big guy, but it's got so many great stories in it. The authors in this have come a long way. We've got a lot of new authors that are just like chomping at the bit. Man, BIZARCAST is I'm so proud of everybody. We're really crushing it. BIZARCAST 4 has been excellent. So we got somebody in here. Waylon. Buddy, we're really crushing it. BIZARCAST 4 has been. What's up, Waylon? We got
hey, just a second, bro.
Waylon. Buddy, we're really.
Hey there, how's it going, man?
It's going good. You're an English guy.
I am indeed, brother.
Welcome aboard.
I'm one of the author's submission folks. Who's just
I know who you are. I don't know if you want that announced.
No, it's for the next one. It's not the current one. It's for the next one, you know.
Yeah. No, I was a little confused. Now that I hear your voice, I know exactly who you are.
I've just bought the latest book and I've just started reading it. It's still got the magic. So,
well, what stories you read so far?
Well, I've just got into the first one, and if it's anything to go by, the rest of them look really good on it. But because I'm an artist myself, I'm sort of like one of these people who doesn't like to read too much of other stuff, or I start to get distracted away from my own work. But you know, I try to always make time for the Biz Archives and all that good stuff.
We appreciate it.
Have you read the previous ones?
I have, yes.
So let me ask you, what type of story genres within the BIZARCAST do you tend to gravitate towards the most?
I don't have a strict favorite one, but some of the ones that are more futuristic and retro-futuristic, they tend to grab me a bit more. But it depends on the story. Some of the old school ones, Dave's stories are pretty good. I like the directions he takes it in. It's never a predictive thing. With that luscious Lex, you never quite know what he's going to do next. That one when he went to hell, that really had me thinking, yeah, Dave can bang him out there. The other one, the one where the guy is like Sherlock Holmes type era, where he's like,
Reuben Bennett. Yeah, that's Robert C. Booth.
That's pretty good. And I like some of the independent ones. Like there was one with this weird statue that came to life on this abandoned planet, presumably Earth. That was absolutely it's as good as the Weird Tales of the 1930s. But I don't think I've seen him do any more follow-ups to that. So,
are you talking Weathered Idol?
I think it was the Weathered Idol. I'm not sure. It's where it ends, where he's just basically victorious, but he's got to get to the next planet or something. It's really good.
Oh, which one was that?
I was thinking Weathered Idol too.
I can't remember.
He basically there's like this orbiting thing going around the Earth that sends out this defense entity woman, and he's like pursuing her up this bloody mountain, and she's like trying to stop him from achieving greatness or something. It was really it was almost allegorical, but yeah, reminded me a lot of the old stuff.
It's gotten to the point after
That's a really cool premise, though.
we've published, I guess, 12. We've published like 60, 70 stories so far. So it's like starting to get hard to,
Especially with all
keep
the
track of.
submissions we read through.
yeah. Could it be Shot at Redemption by H.G. Byron?
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Yeah.
I just remember the scene. It reminded me of the Iron Man a bit, where he's like waking up and trying to just get started from being like this rigid statue thing to walking around. And
I
just thought,
I
wow.
think that is a shot at redemption.
Yeah, that was a
That
really
was a
cool.
very cool.
That was in the
story.
very first issue. That was Shot at Redemption. It was kind of in 3 parts. You had like the man, the woman, and the monster, or something like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the way he described really like that. Some people were actually kind of like weird because he does have a very unique style of writing. He's very he's not like, for example, when I am a very literal writer. When I write a fight scene, I write down every foot movement, every detail.
Yeah.
I really I really go hard with details. He is a very kind of like flowy, flowery kind of writer. So he gives these kind of like abstract descriptions of things, and some folks I don't love it. Just like it doesn't land.
I really
with him.
enjoy that.
I love it. I think he's a brilliant
It's
writer.
a very unique. Yeah, it's a very unique form of writing.
Yeah.
For me, what I've found, and this is weird, but I've done voice work and author. I've written books. I've done author work, but I found that it might just be mostly a guy thing, but we tend to write action scenes better than women can. When women try and do an action scene, it's very different. It just doesn't really gel right like we do them. But when it comes to action scenes, you either get them or you don't. You know, it's like you can either do them or maybe you're better off just abridging them or something. It's a funny thing.
You
to
either
get
do them
right,
or you're better off breeding.
Yeah,
better off making me something to eat before I get pissed off. So, Mr. Whalen, I want to ask you, because this is something that fascinates me, right? And I think you probably tuned in. I think you might have tuned in. We might have talked about this before. I did like a little Telegram live stream. We talked about it. There is a little bit of a difference. Now, obviously, there are people that are individuals that are different, right? There's always outliers, et cetera, et cetera. But this is just a general statement that there is a difference between English writers and American writers as far as their instincts go. With, how they tell stories.
Yes.
Have you noticed this at all?
Absolutely. The first thing I ever noticed from American working class Joe Blow writers is that they tend to. I've noticed Americans have a very good gift at summarizing something. They can condense something better than Anglos usually can, and even Irish. And in their narrative prose, that it's very shorter, it's a bit snappier, but it can really sum things up quickly. But it doesn't really elaborate and it doesn't go into details. Us Brits tend to go the other way. And that's why when I was just doing the short story submission, I found it incredibly difficult to get it to 6,000 words or whatever the limit. I think it was 6,000 words. I was like, how the hell do I had to almost rewrite my brain or something to Americanize it into the shortness of the short story. So yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I've noticed that totally.
So when I did that, and this has been fascinating for me because I have read, because the BIZARCAST is really unique in that, like, we're almost like 50-50 English and American writers. There's probably not another publication that has this sort of like makeup. So I have seen from day one, I've gotten to read submissions from Englishmen versus Americans. Yeah. And I've noticed this a lot. And I actually did a stream and somebody sent me like, you know, obviously like in the 1950s wrote like an essay. It was like called like the American the bombastic American something or other versus the English mind puzzle. And this guy went completely into it. And I'm like, this guy nailed it. And what I've noticed between these like two people now, obviously, I'm not trying to piss off my fellow Americans here, but on average, Brits, they have better education. And I do think that this is going to sound shitty, but I think it's true. The average Brit on average, you know, obviously because there's less of them, there's more of us, and there's less of them, that on average they're a little bit more intelligent than we
Right,
are.
I'm going to say this, Dave, and it's not really a jibe at anyone, but I find when it comes to first-person stories, Americans may have an edge over my side of the pond, but when it comes to third-person writing, it generally seems to be. I find the Anglo writers seem to have a different edge. They seem to not dominate. I suppose dominate is a strong word, but they seem to have like a more ingrained richness. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's obviously it's probably, especially now, because Americans grow up watching, all of these action movies, especially guys. If you were born like after 1968 or whatever, you grew up watching badass action movies over and over. Like, the Brits have seen them too, and the Brits have them too. Obviously, James Bond, et cetera, et cetera. But like no other country has really like raised entire generations of men on like like Predator and Terminator and like all these guys. Now, obviously the Brits have seen it too, but they're not like in America like being mixed
that was
up
like a
in it.
staple of our culture at the time.
So I think Americans, and also I think Americans, because there's a lot of like social etiquettes are different. Americans are very I've noticed this. So what I was saying before is it is so much more likely that I'll get a jumbled up, like misspelled, like grammatical mess from an American than I will from a Brit. It's just the way that it is, right? Even good American writers tend to have like some problems, right?
That's how I am. I will submit something riddled with errors.
Yeah, it's just we don't have that education. Our school system sucks, and then a lot of times we graduate and like we didn't learn nothing or we didn't pay attention. We just suck at that. But I will say this, that Americans are very good at invoking emotion, reaction. Like it's like whereas the Brit, like I give this example, and it's going to sound weird, but H.P. Lovecraft, although he is an American, is the most British writer ever.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He sets all of these hooks up as you're writing. There's a thread here, a thread there, a thread here, a thread there. And at the end, they all come together. And it doesn't culminate into your mind until after you put the book down, the story's over.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Whereas Americans don't think like that. Well, some do. But for the most part, Americans are like, I'm going to throw you into the immersion, into the action, into the thing. And I'm going to make your heart beat. I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And it's more like they're trying to make you experience something like an action movie, even if it is like an action adventure story. It could be a love story, it could be a horror, it could be whatever, but they're trying to get you in the moment as opposed to letting it stew in your mind. What do you think about that, Mr. Wade?
Dave, I will say this: the East Coast and like the Lovecraft country folks, you get that, but I found that the people that vibe to my books more perhaps than some others in America are generally the Southerners, the Midwesterners to an extent, and not so much like the Northeasterners. I just found that the Southerners really vibe to my books more, and I think it's just maybe I've got some Celtic heritage as well, and they sort of tap into that more, and they just seem to be more into that style of writing that I've done in the past, and the Midwestern folks kind of as well, but I think the Midwesterners are they have some of the biggest brevity. Strengths, if you will, when it comes to telling a story. Like, well, there was this one chap, and he was writing stories, and it was purely first person, and it was just so abridged. It was just so short. It was the sentences. It was almost like I had to reprogram myself. How the hell has he written this? It was like Cormac McCarthy sort of style in a way, but better grammatically and better laid out, I'd say. So yeah, it is weird, but I find that the Southern folks, not the far northern folks, kind of get the richness of certain genres more than others.
Yeah, that's certainly a so here's something that a lot of folks don't realize, especially around the world, is how different Americans are regionally. You know what I mean? I like I could sit down and I could talk to, like, I don't know, like let's just say a British guy. I would have more like socially, as far as like, not necessarily, I'm just using this as an example. I could sit down and have more in common with a British guy than I would with somebody that's like from Texas or from
Yeah,
the
for
West
sure.
Coast or something like that. A
Yeah.
lot of folks don't. They just look at Americans as this monolith and don't realize that we're effectively like a bunch of different countries.
Yeah, there's a
Mhm.
lot of like different
Yeah.
sects of Americans.
Yeah, and I got love for my fellow Americans and everything, but it's like for example, Midwesterners, they talk slow. They're
Mhm.
like I don't know. They're just they're a different breed than I am. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Anyway, I've hogged the lines too much. I should let you go, guys, get back and maybe let someone else jump in. So I'll probably
Absolutely.
speak to you
Hey, thanks
guys
for
next
calling
time,
in.
I guess.
Yeah, appreciate you, Mr. Whalen. Blessings
bro.
to you, sir.
Take care, folks.
All right, very cool. Yeah, guys, I got the link there pinned. So if you want to hop in and yak with us for a minute, hop on in. Let's talk. Got the lines are open.
The lines are open.
The lines are open.
We're so open.
We're open for you.
Come and fill our vacancies.
That took it over the line for some reason.
You know what I really liked about him?
Mm.
My favorite part about that call was when he said Lucius Lex with his accent. It sounded like Luscious Lex.
Sometimes some of the ways that like English guys say stuff like is really funny to me. Like they say like garage.
I mean, I'm sure it's the same to them with the way we speak.
Yeah, they.
Especially with our like really enunciated PA Dutch accent.
Oh yeah, like AC. Me and A. Cuthbertson have a thing. He told me about this one time. He tells me about this is something that happens in England. If they maybe not all over, but where he's from, they like for example Amazon or the mailman, or as they call him, the postman.
Yeah.
When the postman comes to drop off, what do they call it? A parcel. If they're not home, they'll throw it in the garbage can.
The postman will?
Yeah, the mailman, when he comes to drop off your package, if you ain't home, he will, instead of leaving it on your porch like a normal human being, they will throw it in your garbage can. And he tells me, he goes, the postman will throw it in the wheelie bin. And I'm like, what the fuck is a wheelie bin? He's like, yeah. He goes, he comes through my garden and throws it in the wheelie bin. And I'm like, why is he walking through your fucking garden? Don't you got a fence up? Like he's crushing your tomatoes. And then I'm like, what is a wheelie? I'm thinking he's thinking like a wheelbarrow.
Like a wheelbarrow, yeah.
I was like, why is he like walking through your garden, stomping your tomatoes and hucks it into? I was like, this is completely weird. Apparently, garden is their word. They just say garden instead of yard. And wheelie bin is like a garbage can. It's got wheels on it.
Outside of all like the weird lingo, why is he putting it in your trash can?
Yeah, on top of everything.
I guess you know what though? I guess like it is safer than leaving it on your porch, right?
Yeah.
Like who's gonna fucking look in your trash can for a package?
Well, that's what they do that just so it doesn't get stolen and so it doesn't get rained on. I'm like,
That's pretty smart.
but you're throwing it on a pile of garbage.
Yeah, but I mean it's in a box.
Could you imagine that happening here in the United States? If Amazon guy came up and just like hucked your thing in the garbage.
Oh yeah, I mean people would have a fucking conniption over it.
They would get the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Amazon or the mailman came through some shit in the garbage, my mail or my packages in the garbage, I would flip out.
Yeah.
It would be a problem.
Fucking
So he
put the
told me
boots
this.
to
He
it.
told me to throw it in the garbage. I finally figured it out after getting through all the slang words and all that. I just started like dying laughing because I just thought it was so absurd and weird. So now we're always like, he was always showing me pictures whenever the postman throws his parcel in the wheelie bin in his garden.
The wheelie bin in the garden.
Yeah.
You know what though? I've always been like really fascinated by the slang that's like frequently used around the world because it's so like drastically different from what we're accustomed to here in America. And even within America, like the slang that's used in different parts of the countries, ridiculous.
Yeah. Arbogast says Dave's garbage is nothing but gabagool and super male vitality.
I just picture a trash can full of fucking pasta and Viagra pills.
Yeah, dude, I don't need pills, bub.
I'm hard right now.
I stay hard.
I stay hard, dog.
I stay hard, bud.
We throb. Turgid gang, rise up.
Engorge gang. Swole boys.
There's a lot of dick jokes on
I
the
know,
show.
this is gross tonight, guys. I'm sorry. This went off the rails. But no, first of all, I don't take super male vitality. You know, people take me for their vitality. Super Dave
I can
vitality.
attest to that.
Yeah. So in a gabagool, first of all, I don't.
What the fuck is gabagool?
Gabagool is slang for capicola.
Is that ham?
Sorta, yeah. It's like an Italian type of ham. It's very good. It's very good. So it's like
I'm
super.
sure you've made me try it
Yeah,
at some point.
yeah. You know how
Dave will make me try foods I've never had all the time, and for some reason, everything he eats I've never had before.
Arbogast once says he'll pay someone to call Dave and Shane and do their best. Saul Rosenberg.
Oh my god,
from
I
Jerky
fucking
Boys.
love the Jerky Boys.
Oh, Saul Rosenberg.
Wow, I haven't thought about the Jerky Boys in like 20 years.
Yeah, but yeah, ham. Yeah, so
Oh yeah. So ham, right? So back to ham.
Yeah. So back to meat, lunch meat. Cold, yeah. So back to cold. So getting back to cold cuts over here. Forget about it. But so you got capicola, right? You got soprasat. You got mortadelle. Those are like the main three. And salami, right? Salami. But you could argue that soprasat is a type of salami.
Arbogast says, "I cut my hand on your books. Good, the offering's been accepted."
Yeah. Thank you for your sacrifice.
How did you even?
No, which book did you cut it on? You cut it on
some
regular.
of them are extra sharp.
Yeah, BIZARCAST. Should we advertise that? Like our books are extra sharp.
Yes, put it on the cover.
Yeah.
Of VZA 5.
Yeah.
Extra sharp.
Yeah. They're not though. Like, look, it's safe, guys.
I hope you cut yourself right now.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, if you want to call in, somebody wants to call in. This guys, call us. Let me tell you, we put this aside as a segment, and you guys are supposed to call in to give us extra content.
Hey, hit us up.
Hit us up, boy. All right, hold up. Let me check something real quick. Go ahead and talk, Shane.
Fucking about what? I don't just riff like you do.
What do you mean?
I'm filler. I'm the guy that fills. It's my fucking job on this show.
I can do that though. I totally like.
You just like you'll just like regurgitate words. Sometimes I don't even think that you're like mentally here in the conversation when you're talking. I think you're like, I don't know, thinking about ham or something.
That's true.
But you're just like riffing. I can't do that.
You can't riff.
I wait for like something that sparks something in my head and then I say it. Because you know me, I'm most of the time I'm a pretty quiet guy. I don't talk a lot. But when I do say something, it's something that I have to say.
My favorite is when you have to like go in front of people to talk.
What do you mean?
Like there's like a public thing and you have to get up in front of people to talk.
When have you ever seen me do that?
I've seen you do it a couple times.
Actually, no. You saw me do it once. Yeah. I hate that.
I know.
I hate that. I feel like I can like feel
I can
more
than
feel
once.
my like nuts crawl inside of my stomach.
More than once.
What do you mean more than once?
More than once I've seen it.
I can think of one instance where you've seen it happen.
Focus Summer Hollowing. Multiple times.
That's fine. I don't have a problem doing that.
But there's time there. So outside of bloat,
fine.
Outside of bloat, there's been times where people go around and like introduce themselves or whatever, and you're like, "I am Shane."
I don't want to fucking talk to people. That's the thing. I've like reached a point in my life where I officially know everyone that I need to know. I don't need to meet anyone else. And I've expressed my opinions on small talk on this show before. I'm just not about it.
We got somebody. Oh, Frostcast. Hey, how we doing?
Hey, can you hear me?
What's
Right?
on, buddy?
Jeez, what time is it over there? It's like night of the Brit Bongs tonight.
4:22.
What are you doing up?
Nice and early.
What are you doing up, bub?
Listening to the boys. What else?
Oh yeah. So what's on your mind, Frostcast?
I don't know, man. You said call in. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing planned, just
That's
pulled
what
up.
I
All right,
like.
no. I did have an idea, right? I put it in the chat. BIZARCAST special edition, but with like paper made from 30% like seaweed pulp or something. Get
All
like
right.
all the Lovecraft stories, that kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, could be a little green, a little like smelling like fish.
Oh yeah, it smell awful, but
Mm.
I don't know.
We should start sourcing skin.
Like real Necronomicon, like it got like a face
Yeah, we
on
should.
it.
We
Like got
should-
like a nipple.
Yeah, we should like put together like an omnibus of the fucking BIZARCAST and like really go hoss with it and like bind it in real skin,
Human leather.
human leather.
Human leather.
There's probably
What
like
do you-
some weird fetishists out there that would be like, they probably pay us to do that, right? Like,
Yeah.
You know a
give
guy,
us that skin.
Frostcast?
Oh,
You know a guy.
sure, bro.
No guy knows a guy.
Yeah, put us in touch.
Yeah.
Touch us.
We'll find a guy.
your people. My skin will touch your skin.
Our skins will come mingle.
So, Mr. Frostcast, what are you working on these days? You folks that don't know, Mr. Frostcast was in BIZARCAST 2 and 3 with some really great stories that turned out to be really favorites. In issue 2, you had Statement of Carter Brenton, and then on issue 3, you had The Weathered Idol, which a lot of people really loved.
Yeah.
So, what do you got? Anything you're working on now?
Yeah. Right now, I'm trying to complete a bunch of folk horror stories. I'm calling it Horror from the Folk. It's going to be a bunch of folk horror subversions. So, like, I mean, folk horror is kind of, well, let's say it's an urban filmmaker kind of genre, right? They go into the rural areas and they shit their pants because they think we're gonna rape them and sacrifice them to.
Are they wrong now?
Well, who's to say, really? For legal reasons, yes.
This river don't go to no end. Got pretty mouth, boy.
Squeal like a pig.
Squeal like a piggy, boy.
I feel like we have different backwoods rape boys than they do.
Yeah. What did Frostcast in Brit Bong is saying?
What's like the equivalent of hillbillies for you?
we got those sheep shaggers down in Wales.
You know what Wales is notoriously known for? The sheep shaggers.
Oh man.
Yeah, I never hear of anybody that's like from Wales.
Oh, I'm half and half, kind of. I spent
You're
half my life
Welshman?
there, half my half England. Yeah, well, my dad is.
Okay. So you don't identify as a Welshman.
Well, it's kind of either or, because I know he doesn't really have any Welsh ancestry. I know that we got like some weird Irish ancestry on his side that moved there like 100 years ago and just sort of
That's the weird part.
stayed Irish. So I don't know. I don't know. So he's not like Welsh either. So kind of a weird one, right?
Yeah. So you're like a mulatto.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was below the belt.
Got a regular mixlet over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna start writing stories about my freakish, distorted bloodline and
Corrupted genetics.
only cleansing fire can save me now, boys.
That's funny. So, Mr. Frostcast, your two stories, which are actually pretty different from one another.
Yeah.
I don't think he says.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was, I guess sorry, Arbo, we got you mixed up with a different guy.
You lying to us?
Lying Frostcast, spreading misinformation.
Gaslight you on live TV.
Yeah, what are you working for the Russians now?
Got an agenda?
Putin shill?
All right. Well, I was in someone's chat and I was just posting some stories.
Yeah. Wonder how many
very
rubles
good.
he's paying you for that one.
Yeah.
Is out there? Are they rubles or rubies? What are they called?
Oh, he
No,
pays me in
fucking
rubies
Russian.
for sure. Yeah.
Hello, comrade. I give you 50 rubles to talk shit. Go to Fat Retard Dave Martell podcast and tell him lies.
It would be like really crazy if the Russians were wasting their time on you.
Kremlin, I think we barking up wrong tree. Trust me, Nikolai. This will bear fruit. Like every Russian, I give that impression to. They, hello, I am Slavic Mountain. Do they
there's a
even
lot of
have
them
soy
over.
boys over there? Is that like a thing that they have in Russia?
Who are you asking?
Frostcast. I mean, you're pretty close to Russia, right? You guys are sort of
Are you close to Russia? Do they have what everywhere?
Or do they have soy boys? Or are they just all
Soy
like
boys.
heaving?
Oh no, they got a lot of. I don't know what you call them. They got a lot of twinks over there right here.
Oh no!
I don't know how to put it. I don't.
Russian twinks.
I don't know. You see them sometimes. You see them in like London and Stockholm and shit. I don't know.
In Russia, dick suck you.
All right. You mentioned dick, so this has got derailed for the next 10 minutes.
This is probably the worst show to like be like advertising BIZARCAST.
We've been off the rails since the start.
So, okay, Mr. Frost, guys, what who are kind of like your main inspirations?
Well, I mean, Lovecraft's a big one, right? Fuck, I don't know who else. I've got a whole fucking library next to me, but suddenly I'm drawing a blank. Well, I'll start with Lovecraft. I mean,
another Welshman.
Yeah. Well, he's. You know, you said Lovecraft was a really English writer, and in the way that he draws all these threads together. But I mean, Arthur Machen, he was also 10 out of 10 at doing that. Like he would sort of, I mean, the white people, he just sort of lays out a bunch of weird threads about, you know, the nature of evil or whatever, and then just sort of collapses it on you right at the end. Yeah, Arthur Machen's great. Black Seal's also, you know, is that? I think that's the one about fucking gremlins in the Welsh Hills or whatever the fuck. Eating girls.
Black Seal. You got the white people. You got Great God Pan. You got
yeah.
He also had I read one of his stories. It wasn't even really a horror. It was like it was called like The Hill of Dreams or something. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like this beautiful story. He was a wonderful writer. The guy was incredible writer. For you guys listening, if you want to get we have like the ultimate Arthur Machen collection. Because of copyright issues, we could not bring it to print. So it is available for free for premium members over on the Substack. So if you are a premium member on the Substack, go over and sign up. It's only like $5 a month. If you want it, $50 a year, which is real cheap, and it pays for itself. But you go over there, you can look through the posts and just type in Arthur Machen, and it'll come up. It's like a big book. It's like 600 something pages of Arthur Machen stories, like all of his best ones. So go over, check it out if you have not read Arthur Machen yet, or you can get a copy of right here. You get the Masters of Horror. It's got Great God Pan in it, which is regarded as his like best story. So excellent writer. Probably the scariest. Right, his stuff was really legitimately scary.
Yeah, it's like freaky and a sort of different. You know, it's not quite cosmic horror, but as far as that sort of weird, on a metaphysical level, it still like fucks with you. Like, he was on some weird shit.
Definitely. And would you say, you know, I was talking about this. Speaking of English writers, I'm sure you heard what we were just talking about with Mr. Whalen. about the difference between American and English writers. Do you see that as well, or do you feel like it's kind of like individual based?
I thought you were going to ask me about my wheelie bin for a second.
Yeah, you got a wheelie bin in your garden?
Hell yeah, I got 3.
Yeah,
one for compost, one for recycling, and then regular. Yeah, I kind of see that. I mean, yeah, I mean, America sort of feels like, I don't know, it's like a punch in the face. America's just like a punch in the face, and you get the stories. English, English is sort of more like some guy in his fucking, study, like, I don't know. That's kind of the impression that I get from
English writers
from
are
reading.
more like a slow burn.
Yeah.
Which is really, really interesting when contrasted to American writers, because we're very much in your face, like high action, high octane, get right to the point, throw you right into the middle of the shit. But I honestly think I prefer the English style better, something that builds into like this grand crescendo.
I like both.
Well,
I appreciate both.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking that Shane, Molybdenous Articulate was a bit of both, right? Like, because there was some like really powerful, freakish punch in the face kind of imagery, with like the brother and stuff right at the start, but you still built it to that.
Yeah, it was a bit of both. I guess, which was bound to happen considering I am an American, but I mean, the inspiration for that was completely drawn from Lovecraft, who was a very English-styled writer.
Waylon says patrician studier versus the rowdy burger. Yeah. So, Frost guys, you read Molybdenous?
I read half of it, and then I read the other half when I was fucking pissed. I was like drunk as hell and had nothing else. I was just like, yeah, fuck, I'll read this this crazy story about it. I don't remember like half of it. So
you know what? I think he found like a loophole to enjoy a book twice.
Found the cheat code.
Yeah, so I mean, I've read the first half, I guess, and I've got like vague flashes of the second half.
I would say that you are a very American writer. So, there are parts in there where you like use the words. This is something that like Americans do. Which if you take a creative writing class, especially ones that are like very, very modern in their approach, they're going to tell you that this is a no-no. But American writers are very notorious for like using specific words as like to add emphasis, like archaic words and weird words.
Yeah.
Like that is like, you would think that it's a British thing, but the Brits don't like I think that and this is something I think is part of like the Brits have like this sense of like they have these like etiquettes and sensibilities about, even Brits that are kind of more working class and everything. They communicate differently with one another. They have certain things that that are just not cool that we do. You know what I mean? Like they're not, it's not like here, especially here on the East Coast, right? Here on the East Coast, you could just go up and talk to somebody in their face.
Yeah.
A stranger in the thing. And in fact, if you're standing in line at the grocery store and like you got somebody, you guys make eye contact, you got to talk now.
I fucking hate that.
I know.
I loathe that.
They don't really have it, from my understanding. Europeans as a whole don't really have that as much. So they have like these like things like, oh, well, I probably shouldn't use these like ridiculous words because to them it feels I don't know, like it's like it feels excessive or something. Whereas Americans, we don't even have those hang-ups. We're just like, fucking put it whatever we want, let's turn it up, you know what I mean? So we like crank it up on these words, and we use these words to really give feeling in there. I've noticed that too, that Brits are much more conservative with their vernacular.
So you think that my use of vocabulary is what distinguishes me as an American author.
Not necessarily. It's your use of vocabulary in addition to instead of the British style is like they will take the story and the premise over time is supposed to is supposed to be what invokes the thing in you, right? You're supposed to think about the whole story and put it together yourself, right. And whereas you are very much in the moment, like that. Everybody talks about this scene. I talk about this scene in Molybdus where they're sitting in the car and there's the like premonition of the little boy that died in the dude's past. And he's like, fucking, what's the character's name?
Edmund.
And he's Eddie, and like wipes his teeth out of his gums. And it's like really disgusting and bizarre. And that is like, you are like in the moment, reaching out of the book and stabbing a knife into the reader and cranking it around, right? That's what you're like drawing them into the
narrative.
Into the narrative. Waylon says, Arbogast got to get going. He says, all right, my good lads, I bid you all good night. Take care. Hails and blessings to Mr. Arbogast. Hails and blessings. Take care. Mr. Corey's in the chat, and then we got Waylon. He says, I've noticed Americans can get spontaneously rowdy and verbally upbeat. Noisy hollering from stuff Brits would just be like, okay, mate.
Yeah, that's kind of like, it's kind of intentional though. You know, you get rowdy with your boys.
Also, if you guys don't like base Americans on me, I am exceptionally bombastic. Like
he really is.
I am an animated person. I'm a loud person.
And like in my daily life, I'm actually pretty introverted.
Yeah. Shane is the kind of guy that if you guys go to a party or whatever, if you don't actively pull him into the conversation, he'll just sit there and say nothing. Whereas like if I'm at the party and there's a conversation going on, I'm like, okay, I'm not in this. This is bullshit. Let's change that. And I have to, bully my way into I just have to. Like, you guys aren't allowed to be talking without me.
You're an engager or not. I'm an observer.
Yeah, I am. I do observe, though. I do watch people. I like. What? What are you looking at? What? What are you?
Nothing. Go on.
You're pointing at something. What? Shane's off screen, by the way. He doesn't want to get on camera. Speaking of, right? All right, Mr. Frostcast. You sound like you're pretty. Is there anything else you'd like to touch on?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I was kind of thinking with the whole British American thing. Pardon? What was that?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. My second story, Weathered Idol. You mentioned earlier I think Pigeons from Hell. That was one of Robert E. Howard's Southern Gothic tales.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, basically, Weathered Idol was sort of based on Robert E. Howard's Southern Gothic tales with my own kind of spin on it. But obviously, I tried to use a lot of the vernacular he uses, like egg, like shivering with egg, and I don't know, I had a bunch of words that. So I don't know. What do you think? Was that more of an American or more of an English style? Since I did try and base it on Robert E. Howard. What do you guys think?
If you told me that and an American wrote that, I wouldn't like tell the difference. I couldn't tell the difference. It's like like I said before, there's guys are different. Guys can do different things. There are guys that are versatile and can go across, and there's guys that are. It's just It's just kind of like an overall thing. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like an overall, a little bit of a difference between those two approaches to storytelling. I guess they're just kind of innate storytelling instincts that you kind of have if you're just going at it. But if you like what you're doing with the Weathered Idol, which you were actively trying to portray a setting in in Louisiana or wherever it was, right?
Yeah.
So you captured that, right? So that's the way they did it. And also shout out to Cypress Walter, our boy Cypress. He writes stories that are like in England and stuff because he's a Southern guy. He's an Anglophile, so he's very interested in that. Very, very knowledgeable about his English roots. So he writes, for example, his story that's in BIZARCAST 3, the ancients and the breastplate or something like that. It's a vampire story. It's set in England, And like if you told me an English guy wrote it, I'd believe it.
Yeah.
He does a very, very good job of doing that.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, I think it's everything, unless you want to ask me something.
We're coming up on 2 hours, so I was gonna start wrapping it up here. But Mr. Frostcast, I appreciate you, man. I love your stories. I love your work. And I can't wait to work with you more in the future and read more of your stories and hopefully publish more of your stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah,
so
man.
You're a guy that folks really like, and it's an honor to have you in the pages of BIZARCAST and working with you and getting to know you and everything like that. And it's also been really cool seeing like you and some of the guys get together. I know you guys had a get together.
Yeah.
Is that something you're cool to talk about?
Yeah. I mean, I've met AC a few times. Me and him have been doing Toadstool. Mostly him, but shout out to Toadstool magazine.
Yeah, shout out Toadstool magazine. Toadstool magazine 2 is like it's out. I think it's like
it's out now.
Yeah, it's out. So folks, go pick up a copy. I have a copy. I don't have it with me right now. I do have Toadstool issue 1s floating around here somewhere in this disaster of a room, but it's
off camera. It's an empire of boxes in here.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We're good. This is good problem to have because it means we're doing business.
Yeah.
Right. It means we're doing good business. So yeah, guys, Mr. Frostcast, I appreciate you, and I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
And you gotta get to bed. It's like 5 a.m. there. You're an absolute maniac. But I appreciate you. Love and blessings to you and your family. And happy holidays. I'll talk to you very, very soon. All right.
Yeah, man. Great to be in the BIZARCAST. Great talking to you. Catch you later.
Brother, take care. Excellent. I like that guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a real good guy.
He's a
real good guy, really good author.
He's an excellent author, real chill guy, real funny guy. Yeah, he's got a dude that I would hang out with. Like I would hang out with Frost guys. I would like want to then like sip a pint. Have a pint of ale.
Like to suck the head off a pint with that guy.
I'd like to have a suckle of some ale.
Like to have a sip and suck side by side.
That's so gay. So bad. Guys, I'm sorry. That's so weird. Oh, man.
This fucking episode has been an absolute train wreck.
Oh, it's been a mess. All right. So let me check something here real quick, and then we're probably gonna wrap it up here. If anybody else wants to hop in, now's your chance because we're getting ready to shut it down.
Any takers?
Any Quakers?
Come, fill us with your pulpy questions.
Oh man,
join us.
Join us. One of us.
One of us.
Okay, cool. All right, folks. That's going to be it for this evening. Do you have anything in closing you wanted to talk about, Shane?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It's late.
It's late. It's time to wrap it up. It's almost midnight. All right, folks. I appreciate all you guys. Make sure to go over, get a copy of the BIZARCAST. Guys, if you like what we're doing, you want to support what we're doing, the best way to do it is to buy books. Buy books. BIZARCAST 4 is out now. This is like it's like all scrambled by the green screen. But this is probably our best one so far. We just keep getting, in my opinion, I'm very confident, and I'm very proud to say that I believe that we keep getting better and better. Like our authors keep growing, our new faces, new talent is coming in. Get yourself a copy of the BIZARCAST issue 4. This thing rocks, man. Cool art in it from all kinds of guys. Arturi Cavella, Erwin Roos. He did the cover. He's going to be doing the cover for BIZARCAST 5. Artists of Albion, who we're going to be working with more in the future. Very, very talented, excellent artist. A guy named, what's his name? Alan something or other. Let me see.
Schiffer.
No, his last name starts Alan. I'm sorry, Mr. Allen. I always forget his name. He's a new artist that came into the fold. He's just submitted two to me. We had an exchange, an email exchange, and he just like gave me some cool art credits. Alan Emerson. So shout out Alan Emerson. Mr. Luke Mason, Imminent Rain, hails and blessings to you. Hails so hard, my man. Awesome guy. So that's going to be it. Guys, get a copy of that. Get a copy of Masters of Horror Volume 1, because Volume 2 is coming out very soon. This is an excellent book to give to somebody you know as a gift for, people that like horror. This is like it's a great introduction. It's also just a great book to have, like, to take with you somewhere, because it's got like so many great stories in it. Mackin, Blackwood, Edgar Allan Poe, Clark Ashton Smith, H.P. Lovecraft, Robert E. Howard. Just excellent compilation. So get yourself a copy before Volume 2 comes out, which is going to be very, very soon. And we got more stuff coming your guys' way. So stay tuned over at the BIZARCAST, social media over on Twitter and Telegram at the BIZARCAST, and all that good stuff. Check us out, thebizarcast.com. Sub to our Substack over at theobelisk.substack.com. And that's going to be it, folks. I'll talk to you guys all very, very soon. Hails and blessings. Have a very Merry Yule and a Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys next time.